Welcome. This is David Bowles' Human Meme. Today's topic, When the Lion Roared. I think we can agree there is great wisdom in aging. We old people know all the masks. We know all the tricks. We are aware that time is running out against us. And few younger people seem to know how hard the clock is ticking against them. But with this wisdom of knowing comes a curse. And that curse is this: eternal suffering, painful living, and the detached recognition that we really are all only blips on a map, an instance of light that flickers, flashes, and then forever fades away. So what do we do with these human lives that are precious but date-stamped? That, my human meme friend, is the conundrum of living that nobody has really ever solved. And I've always had a lot of older friends, and now, as I age into my winter, I find many of my older friends are dead. And that is a strange and awful feeling of being left alone, adrift, abandoned to only my own wishes and whims, with only their fading advice, longing wisdom, and disappearing logic to try to help to continue to guide me into the next sunset. And those old lions, our friends, those we admire, in their final roars, were always inspiring and terrifying for what they knew, and for what they knew, we don't yet know. The great author Philip Roth claimed in his final days, as he withered away on his deathbed, that old age is an annihilation. And of course, how could it be anything else? The process of dying isn't clean or clear or present, or even very predictable. And the inevitable end of us isn't so much glory, but the gloom of the grave. Some among us claim it is better to die young and to leave a pretty corpse, but that always seemed a much more nihilistic definition of life to me than just sagging away into a craggy old age. And yes, there is power in knowing. And yes, there is grace in the everlasting. And we should all want to claw back as much life as possible from the endless maw staring back at us from the abyss. Forget the flame flickering on the cave wall. Watch the tar pit bubbling behind you. And my human meme friend, there is humiliation in age in the eyes of the young. And we, the aged oldsters, we, those who know, because we have lived, we have to put up with their innocence and their immaturity, because we know they don't know any better. And so can you imagine what it must be like to be a college football coach and to have your entire life and career and your $1,000,000-a-year paycheck be decided by the whims of an 18-year-old high school senior? You have to plush their ego. You have to chase them. You have to promise them things you know you cannot deliver. You have to make them feel as if they are the only person in the world to you. And you're 50, and they're 18. And if they have any talent at all, well, there's a whole string of 50-year-old coaches begging right behind you for that same kid to play ball with them on their team. And for what? A trophy and a little bit of money? Is it all only always about dollars? Is it never about the triumph in the spirit and the will of nature against the dark matter of the universe? And what a humiliation that is for an old coach. And the kids know it. They string out the process of recruiting. They play people and teams and cities against each other, wanting, wishing for them. They pretend to be mature while playing the wildly immature game of cloying popularity and not multitudinality. As the big-name coach, you have to go along with the immaturity and the effervescence of your public humiliations. Because you know your entire career depends upon the whims of maybe 3, 4, or 5-star recruits per year. You chase them. You woo them. You beg them to sign a letter of intent with your school. And you sink or succeed if they like you or not. If they like you enough to sign away the next 4 years of their life. And now I ask you, what sort of life is that for either side? The coach is run by the kids. The kids then play for a major college team that makes millions of dollars institutionally off their talent. And all the kids get is maybe a diploma and a weight room and some food and a place to live and free tuition and some sycophantic glory. The imbalance between effort expended and formal gains attained is just too wide to be narrowed merely by constitutionality and the divinity of shared learning patterns. Something in that dyad is going to break, and break down hard. And so you pray against the moon that you are not the one found broken in the dying sun. And in the end, we old lions begin to face the horizon, to watch the sunset instead of turning around to see the sunrise. We know more than what other people do not know, but we have yet to learn all the intricacies of the right that brought us here, from the valley to the mountaintop and down again, to spout our names, to protect our monikers, to bray into the wild wind that we're not done yet, that we have more to share, that there is still too much to not know. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.